all a test. All of it. This, life, everything, it's a test. And you either get a blessing or a lesson from it. That's just the way I see it. No hay mal que por bien no venga is a saying that my mom says. It translates to there is no bad from which you cannot derive or get some good. And in 2004, my mom told me this. And the reason she told me this is the story that I'm going to tell you. I was 6 months pregnant with my second child. My first child was 8 years old. And I was really excited about having this second one because having my first one at 17, I hadn't done some fucked up shit. And I felt like I could fix, I could make this one better. And I had learned, I had grown, I had learned my lessons, I had done the tests, right? And so I was really excited, and the guy that I was with had saved me from like a sexual assault that had happened 2 years prior. That's a story for a different day, but he was there, and he was the father, and we were excited. And I went to my 5-month check, like my 6-month checkup. I had my ultrasound a little late, and I was 6 months, and I was really excited for this ultrasound. And so I went to the clinic, St. Elizabeth Hospital Clinic, and I did the checkup before the ultrasound. And in the checkup, they like do the whole thing, you know, they go in ya, they put the jelly on your belly, you know, and they get to the right? And there is no right? But she doesn't say anything. My doctor is really cool. She's not trying to stress me out or freak me out. So she sends me directly to my ultrasound. We don't even finish the rest of the test, the bloods or whatever. And she sends me to my ultrasound. And I get to the ultrasound, and they put me in this room, and the woman has the screen facing her, and she does the little jelly on the belly again, and she's looking around, and then she leaves the room, and I'm there just waiting, and then in comes a doctor. And he looks at me and he tells me that he needs to take me into another room right next to it, and I get into this room, and it's a dark, like, not dark as in like the light, it's just like the paint and everything just seems really like dull down and very vanilla, I call it. And I sit in this room, and he sits next to me, and he says, "Lily, your son passed." And in my head, at the time, I'm just like, of course he passed. He's fucking brilliant. It's like, you met my other son, right? In my head, I am thinking, like, he totally passed whatever test that you guys are talking about, because that's what it is. And then he's just like, no, because he sees that it's not registering. And he's like, no, there is no baby anymore. And everything goes like blank. Dark. I don't know how to explain it. I'm in a zone, and he says to me, "You're going to have to give birth to it." And right away I'm like, no, you ain't gonna make me give birth to no dead baby. That's not gonna happen today. No, you're either gonna cut it out of me, or you're gonna zap some laser and disintegrate the motherfucker, because I am not going to give birth to this baby. I was like against it. And he said, no, first of all, like that technology, the zapping laser, that shit don't exist, right? And second of all, cutting you open and taking the baby out is more dangerous. It's a lot. You could die if that happens. That's not the way it works. And so I had to like get into this mindset that I was about to give birth to something I wasn't going to take home with me. And it fucked my head up. Like, I was like calling my mom, who was at work in Schaumburg, and I'm calling the baby dad, who was like, I'm on my way, because he was at work, and I'm just in this room in tears, not ready to do this, and I have to do it. And it sucked. 9.5 fucking hours. I was in labor, they give you the everything, the fucking, whatever the medicine is, starts with a P, that gives you the Pitocin, that gives you the contraction so that you dilate. I didn't have to dilate 10, I think it was like 4 or something, but still 8.5 fucking hours of this shit. I called my whole family, and my whole family was working, and the only person that was able to come through was my son's father and my neighbor who had lost twins in the same way. Like, what are the fucking odds that I call a neighbor and she has gone through the same thing and she's there by my side? I'm crying the whole time because this sucks. Because I know how this is gonna end, like the fucking Titanic. I already know it's gonna fucking end the way it ends. And I have this baby. And it's super fast. It's not like my first son. Super fast. They take a little picture of them and they give you the Polaroid in a little purple box that's tied up. They put you in a special wing in the hospital where I guess moms who are supposed to be having babies that they can't have. And that was it. And I hated every minute after that. I would go places and I'd see pregnant women and it'd make me fucking angry. This crackhead ass bitch that lived across the street was 9 months pregnant and was gonna have her baby, and here I was healthy. What the fuck did I do? She smokes crack every fucking day and she's about to have this baby. I thought life was unfair. I hated it so much. But like my mom says, right? Que no hay mal que por bien no venga. And I hated that fucking saying. Trust me, I hated that saying because it's some fucking, cookie cutter ass advice you give people when you don't know what to say is how I felt. It was, like, no, I might get por bien no venga, bitch. I don't want to hear your shit. And that's how I felt. It was coming off, right? And then I'm standing here today. And I'm Lily motherfucking B. Right? I'm standing here, I have an 18-year-old son who's on a fucking full ride to study biochemical engineering at UIUC. Like, I mean, I have an amazing group of friends, and storytelling saved my life. I would have never known storytelling had I had an 11, 12-year-old right now. I wouldn't be standing here at Martyrs sharing this little piece of my life for you guys to take home with you had I had an 11-year-old in my life, because believe you me, I'm fucking ride or die about being a mom, and so I know I would have been like lockdown mom. I wouldn't have met the people that I would have had needed to meet in order to introduce me to storytelling had I had a son, a second one. So I decided, all right, fine, no hay mal que por bien no venga. Because there is no bad from which good cannot come. The only thing I would add to that is that if you give it time. And in time you'll see. And it's a blessing or a lesson. And this was a blessing of a lesson. Because I know I'll see Jarrell with his big forehead and Dad's nose and my cheeks one day, and I'm okay with that. Thank you.